One of the most remarkable and most expensive cars ever built was built right here in Puget Sound in Kent, Washington. And we sent them to the moon, and they're still there.
This is really a rock and rollin' ride, isn't it?
As the Apollo missions progressed, NASA decided that the astronauts, instead of just walking on the moon, needed to go further in order to do good science. They had to invent this new vehicle, and this vehicle had to be able to operate in extraordinary conditions. It had to operate in a vacuum. It had to operate in temperatures that ranged down to 200 to 250 below. There were no roads, obviously. You've got billions of years of dust and rocks and craters, mountains. They had to be able to fold it up and put it in the lunar module, and then they had to be able to unfold it on the surface in about 15 minutes. So one of the cool things we have here are what amount to the owner's manuals. The chassis, let's take a look at that. There's a description of the wheels. I don't think they had seat belts on this thing. When they got in and drove around, they traveled pretty slowly. You were traveling at maybe 5 miles an hour, depended on the terrain. I think they could go up to about 11 miles an hour, so it wasn't a fast-moving vehicle. There was one famous glitch. In the process of setting it up, they damaged a fender. What did they use to fix the fender on the lunar rovers? Duct tape. It did look like it was, on a beach with some guys joyriding it. But it was really appealing because I think people did know that there was actually a purpose for those up there, that they were extending our reach, extending exploration. You felt like modern civilization had actually arrived. There were cars on the moon now. For a long time, Seattle has seen itself as a launch pad to the space age. And the interesting thing to me is that the launch pad more rightly belongs to Kent. This is where rockets and the rovers were developed, and things are still being developed there. Boeing is still doing a lot of work for NASA. Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin company, which is looking at ways to populate the moon and explore space, is based in Kent. People are going to be running around up there. It'd be interesting to see if one of those buggies can still drive. So, taking a look at the lunar rover manuals, I brought my Subaru Forester manual. The security indicator light and alarm system, like how do you turn it off? Warning, battery fluid is sulfuric acid. Do not let it come in contact with your eye. Okay, I'm not sure you really need to warn people about that, but maybe you do.